With the Veloster, Hyundai is re-entering the European market in the compact sports car segment. The unusual new three-door has been completely redesigned. The Veloster's secret is that it has a 1+1 door concept, one door on the driver's side, two on the passenger side. So who's likely to be buying the Veloster? The Hyundai representative says the typical customers are single people, couples, even couples with children. The concept of this car fits that lifestyle. The three doors make the car suitable for every day and offer a lot in terms of loading and getting in the car. It's the right concept for this target group. Its design with a low roof and widely spaced wheels form the basis of the Veloster's fascinating lines. The side view shows off the gently sloping roofline. And the wheel rims have color inserts coordinating with the color of the chassis. The third door makes access to the back seat easier, and the interior is generously designed for a car of this size. The dashboard isn't the usual standard design, but stylish precision work with round instruments. Then there's the large, mostly glass tailgate, behind which there's a trunk with a capacity ranging from 320 liters to 1,015 liters. The car was presented as a prototype years ago by Hyundai's main design center in Namyang, South Korea. But the finishing touches were done by Thomas Bürkle, the head designer in Rüsselsheim. He put a lot of work into it, making it the way it is now. A look at the technical data really reveals the Veloster's sporty side. The 103 kilowatts, 1.6-liter direct injection engine reaches a top speed of 201 kilometers per hour. The premium model's start-stop button system reduces fuel usage to 6.5 liters. The main target markets are the US and Europe. Hyundai thinks it has a very good concept with the 1.6-liter direct injection. It's a very energy-efficient but still sporty car that allows sporty driving. There are plans to expand the engine range to offer a more powerful engine. The standard equipped version of the Veloster is available in Germany starting at 21,600 euros. Hyundai is hoping young drivers will be enthusiastic about the advantages of this unusual three-door vehicle. Today in our comparison test, we look at two mid-range sedans with a sporty touch, the Honda Accord Type S and the Volvo S60. Let's start with the Honda Accord. The first generation rolled off the lines in 1976, and the current sixth generation has been around since 2008. Honda's British and German chassis specialists have fine-tuned the suspension for European road conditions. We're testing the Accord Type S in the executive model with 132 kilowatts. The car accelerates from 0 to 100 at 8.7 seconds. Honda says it uses 5.6 liters of diesel per 100 kilometers. Our tester says the first impression of the Honda is a good one. It's pretty sporty, even if the materials used could be of a higher quality. For about 2,500 euros in Germany, you can get various driver assist systems, like a collision mitigation system, an adaptive cruise control, or a lane keeping assist that kicks in between 72 and 180 kilometers per hour and counter steers to keep you from veering out of your lane. Now the Volvo. It offers not only a smoother ride, but the steering gear transmission ratio is 10% better than its predecessor. One optional extra is the city safety function, first introduced in the XC60. which automatically brakes in front of pedestrians at lower speeds. The S60 reaches a slightly higher top speed than its competitor, 225 kilometers per hour. Volvo lists fuel usage at 6.3 liters per 100 kilometers. Our tester says that with the Volvo, everything's just a little bit better than with the Honda, starting with the dashboard, continuing to the surface feel of the buttons in the center console, and finally with the assist systems, where Honda can't really keep up with Volvo's achievements. But can the safe Volvo keep up with the Honda's sportiness? For the 2012 model, the engine capacity was increased from 153 to 158 kilowatts in the D5, the most powerful diesel. The car is also available with all-wheel drive, so when you accelerate in a curve, you don't notice anything pulling at the steering, like with the Honda. But Volvo stands for comfort as well as safety. At an additional cost, you can get a Volvo with a chassis with 4C technology. That's an adaptive chassis coupled to a speed-dependent power-assisted steering, so you can set the car for comfort or sport driving modes. Volvo has a reputation for making very safe cars, and we find that confirmed here. For about 500 euros plus installation, the S60 can also be equipped with a front-mounted camera that shows you what's going on in front of the car. It's especially helpful with blind drives or dangerous intersections. The Volvo's design is more sedate. The LED daytime running lights are separate from the headlights, adding to the overall elegance of the car's look. From the side, you really notice the large doors, but also the high window line. The brake lights wrap around the side and are also separated. The fresher design is obvious. The first generation came out in 2000, followed by the second 10 years later. Two exhaust pipes decorate the back. The interior features well-tooled, high-quality materials. Chrome and leather trim the doors, and the controls look compact and neat. The back seats are just as comfortable as the front seats. The Honda makes a more predatory impression. Even if its look is a little dated, it still seems sportier than its competitor. The Accord is lowered to the ground, like a big cat ready to pounce. The back rises out into a spoiler-like rear. The brake lights also seem more aggressive than the Volvo's and are also separated. The Honda looks really sporty from the outside, but what's the interior like? At first glance, it's typically Japanese, lots of control and buttons. The fittings seem a bit clunky. And the quality of the materials isn't as good as in the Volvo. The seats are not as good as the Volvo's, and even in our test car, can only be adjusted manually. Both Honda and Volvo have given their best. What's our tester's verdict? He says that both test candidates offer a lot in the standard models. The Honda Accord in the Executive Edition costs at least 34,800 euros, while the Volvo S60 Summum costs at least 44,700 euros, some 10,000 euros more. If you add up all the optional extras offered with each, then there's a price difference of 15,000 euros. With the Honda, you get a compact car, which is why his choice, even though everything's just a bit better in the Volvo, is for the Honda. Audi presents the 5-door Sportback version of its A1. A touch higher than the 3-door version, the Sportback offers more headroom in the back seat. It's standard equipped as a 4-seater, but an optional and free 3-seat rear bench is also available. In Germany, the A1 Sportback has a starting list price of €16,950. It's been 4 years since the debut of the VW Passat CC. Since then, the sedan, with the lines of a sports car, has sold 320,000 units worldwide. Now Volkswagen is introducing a new CC with a slightly different design and considerably expanded standard equipment. After launching in Europe, the CC will hit the US, Russian, and Asian markets this spring. It's nice for any driver to feel like winter. With its snow and ice, it can be fun. That's thanks to modern all-wheel drive systems that ensure safe driving even on slippery roads. Mercedes has been offering all-wheel drive models for more than 100 years. But in that time, the technology has developed considerably, becoming ever more sophisticated. The principle, though, remains the same. The Mercedes Firmatic system simply means that the propulsion power is distributed to all 4 wheels. The handling becomes more neutral, more even, and more predictable for the driver, and it also helps protect the driver from surprises. We went to Hochgurgel in the Austrian Alps to test drive the newest edition of the M-Class stable, the ML 250 BlueTech. The M-Class has been around since 1997, the first SUV Mercedes brought out. Today, the 3rd generation is distinguished by its considerable comfort and the luxury elements adopted from the sedan segment. Even the smallest diesel engine, like all ML models, has permanent all-wheel drive. As far as fuel consumption goes, the ML 250 BlueTech has set new standards. Mercedes says its 150 kilowatt 4-cylinder engine needs just 6 liters of diesel for 100 kilometers. Extensive fuel efficiency features such as low wind resistance, the best in its class for that segment, contribute to those low consumption figures. Mercedes currently offers 49 all-wheel drive models in 10 production series in Germany. But not all drivetrains are created equal. While the system in the E-Class is optimized for the street, the M-Class focuses on off-road use, with features such as an assist for starting on gradients. The handling and safety can be further upgraded with an additional package of extras. The Mercedes M-Class offers on- and off-road programs. That means it has 6 driving programs. And within these programs, the best option is put together as the ideal balance. For instance, with the snow program, the vehicle is optimally equipped with all the appropriate regulating systems.
Bestens abgestimmt mit allen daran beteiligten Regelsystemen.
Along with the snow program, there are 5 other settings: an automatic program, 2 special off-road settings, and for on-road, sport, or a trailer stability assist. But of course, the system can only work as well as allowed by the contact between the car and the driving surface. The correct winter tires, and of course the driver, play a decisive role in road safety. You should, of course, always drive according to the conditions. And it's a good feeling to have a car that can replace or support certain driver reactions in extreme situations. Thanks to its all-wheel drive, the car always has optimal contact with the road. and its driver assist programs work together perfectly. The ML makes winter driving a lot of fun. It's immediately recognizable as a Jaguar, and the hottest one the British firm has to offer. This is the Jaguar XKR-S, says our tester. He stresses the S is important, as this is the speediest series production Jaguar ever built, which can top 300 kilometers an hour. Jörg thinks the color is also sensational. He's made a checklist for the car, which he's now going to go through. Sexy, curvaceous, exciting. Those are just some of the adjectives used to describe the XKR-S. So let's start off with our style check. Much has changed since Ian Callum took over the helm at Jaguar Design. He's modernizing the Jaguar look. With the XKR-S, he's transformed the sportiness of the XK into pure performance. The car is 10 millimeters closer to the ground, has spoilers and air inlets in all the right places, lots of carbon fiber and bigger wheels. It's clear that the XKR-S wants to be a full-blooded sports car, but it's still a Jaguar with the style of a true gentleman. Jörg says that Jaguar has always known how to build beautiful cars, and now that they're independent again and no longer part of Ford, they can do that. While the XK is a nice car, he feels the XKR-S is an extreme one that's been uncompromisingly trimmed for sport and performance. The racetrack in Portimão, Portugal is just the right place to test out the XKR-S. The Portimão circuit is hilly and has been compared to a roller coaster ride. Those familiar with the circuit clearly have a real advantage here. The XKR-S's 5-liter 8-cylinder engine generates 405 kilowatts of power. That's enough to rocket the car from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in just 4.4 seconds. The Jag has a top speed of 300 kilometers an hour and zips around the circuit here in Portugal. The car drives well, hugs the road well, and sounds great too. A push of a button puts the Jag into dynamic mode, making the V8 engine roar like an airplane. Real sports car freaks might prefer a more Spartan interior, slightly narrower seats, and a steering wheel with a touch more grip. But gentleman drivers will like it just the way it is. Jörg says the Jaguar XKR-S combines sportiness, style, and elegance and fits in well on a golf course like this. He finds the contrast between the French racing blue and the green of the fairways to be just perfect, but he says that it'd be embarrassing to play here without a handicap of 10 or better. It's relatively easy to stiffen the suspension and then give a car the Super Sport label, but Jaguar has gone the extra mile. The XKR-S is also great for cruising around the golf course. Fast or slow, it's a pleasure to drive. Our tester says the XKR-S is a cruiser, a car that's comfortable and suited for leisurely drives around the countryside. Personally, he'd prefer it to be a bit sportier inside. It's a bit too distinguished, with too much chrome for his tastes. He feels the steering wheel could also be a bit thicker and have more grip, and the steering itself could be more responsive. But he says you can always do this. Jörg says the engine is sensational. It's spontaneous, even brutal in its response, making the car incredibly fun to drive. He says you can really floor it and then quickly return to cruising again. For a super sports car, the XKR-S is amazingly fit for everyday use. It boasts 330 liters of cargo space. There's plenty of room at the front, and the rear emergency seats can be used for short trips. You can't expect a car like this to have the fuel efficiency of a compact, but 12.3 liters per 100 kilometers is respectable for a vehicle of this kind. Jörg says this Jaguar is sporty, elegant, and boasts more creature comforts than you'd expect. He feels it's suited for the golf course and the racetrack. Though it's a bit of a gas guzzler, that's expected in a car with 550 horsepower. He says it drives well, sounds good, is fun, and looks great. The Jag costs 130,000 euros, and he believes it will be a success. At Jaguar, just under 130,000 euros buys drivers a membership in the exclusive 300 km/h club. This costs much more at Porsche and significantly less at Nissan. But only at Jaguar can you find the XKR-S in stunning French racing blue.